The definition of the difference quotient is this expression we see on the screen. The difference quotient is defined to be f at x plus h minus f of x divided by h. H cannot equal 0 because we can't divide by 0. All right, to evaluate the difference quotient, we're going to take this one step at a time. We're going to first evaluate our function at x plus h, and then we'll simplify that expression. Then we'll subtract from that expression, f of x plus h, the original function f of x. We'll simplify that expression, and then we'll take the result of that subtraction and we'll divide it by h. So one step at a time. We're going to find the difference quotient for the function f of x equals negative 2x squared plus x plus 5. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find and simplify the function evaluated at x plus h. All right, to evaluate a function at an algebraic expression, we're just going to replace in our function the value x with the expression x plus h. So wherever there is an x, we're going to replace that with x plus h. Wherever there is an x, we're going to replace that with x plus h. Wherever there is an x, we're going to replace that with x plus h. All right, so now what does my function look like? F of x plus h is equal to negative 2 times x plus h squared plus x plus h plus 5. Now we have to square this binomial. We have to distribute the negative 2 across and combine like terms if we had any. All right, so f of x plus h is equal to negative 2. I'm going to square x plus h. So to do that, I square the x. I multiply the two terms together. X times h is xh. And then I double that result. So the middle term is 2xh. Then I square the last term, I square the h, and I get h squared. All right, now I need to distribute this minus 2 across. So I'm going to get f of x plus h is equal to minus 2 times plus x squared is minus 2x squared. Then I'm going to distribute the negative 2 across the plus 2xh. Minus 2 times plus 2 is minus 4xh. And then distribute the negative 2 across the h squared. Negative 2 times plus h squared is negative 2h squared. I can go ahead and remove the parentheses around the x plus h. And there is the expression that represents f of x plus h. So now I'm going to take the f of x plus h, so that long expression there, and I'm going to subtract the original function. And if I do this correctly, it should work out very nice. We should get rid of the x squared term, we should get rid of the x term, and we should get rid of the constant. Let's see what happens. So I have negative 2x squared minus 4xh minus 2h squared plus x plus h plus 5. And I'm going to subtract from it the original function, which is what? Minus 2x squared plus 5, plus x plus 5. All right, to do this subtraction, I need to distribute this minus sign across these three terms. And I'm going to do that. So I get negative 2x squared minus 4xh minus 2h squared plus x plus h plus 5. When I distribute that minus across that minus 2x squared, I get plus 2x squared. When I distribute that minus across that plus x, I get minus x. When I distribute that minus across the plus 5, I get minus 5. All right, now, again, if I did this correctly, the x squared terms should add to 0. Well, I have negative 2x squared and 2x squared, those add to 0. I have a plus x and a minus x, they add to 0. I have a 5 and a minus 5, they add to 0. So what I'm left with here is minus 4xh minus 2h squared plus h. So there is the expression for f of x plus h minus f of x. Now I need to take this expression and divide it by h to get the difference quotient. So f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h is going to be minus 4xh minus 2h squared plus h divided by h. All right, I can cancel if I have a common factor in both the numerator and denominator. So I'm going to factor the h from the numerator. Okay, so I'm going to factor that out. So I'm going to get minus 4x minus 2h plus 1 divided by h. Now I can cancel the common factor of h, and my difference quotient is minus 4x minus 2h plus 1. That is the difference quotient. For those of you who are going to be taking calculus later, if we were to let h go towards 0, so h becomes the number 0, we would end up with minus 4x plus 1. And minus 4x plus 1 is the derivative of that function. So keep that in mind when you take calculus, that Professor Castle said that when you have the difference quotient and you let h go towards 0, you find the derivative of your function.